Beautiful Cairns as the WNBL season continues. We're on to round 3 and today it's Sydney up against Adelaide. Two teams very much in playoff contention. The road to the playoffs though goes through one another and we get to see that matchup today. Adelaide affected by the Parafield cluster. They were forced into quarantine but now they've made their way out and they're on their second leg of a back-to-back. Their second back-to-back in the space of just 6 days. Meanwhile, for the Sydney Uni Flames, I think they're as good as you can find a 2-4 team in the competition. Corbin Middlemass alongside Laurie Chiswick. Laurie, what are we in for today?
Well, as you just mentioned there, Adelaide did come out of a lockdown. They had a game against Melbourne where they looked a bit, off colour, not quite what they should be. Then they bounced back straight away against Bendigo, and I thought they had a really rock-solid game there. Then they had to jump in cars, head up to Cairns. Then yesterday they had a quick training, and then here they are today. Vastly, vastly different to Sydney's preparation for this. They've actually been up in Cairns. They had their 2 games last Saturday, Monday, had a good win on Monday. Had a day off. I think they did some touristy things, which was pretty exciting for them. 3 days of training, and now they're here ready to play. But you know what? Doesn't matter which way you look at it. 2 very experienced coaches. They'll have their teams fired up and ready to go.
I like Sydney's form line. I feel like they're coming off their best win of the season so far. They've only had 2 wins, but they've beaten the 2 teams that are below them. They didn't get all that close against the Southside Flyers or the Melbourne Boomers, and they're 2 teams that we know are in title contention. And then the other 2 games, Laurie, they were super close up against Townsville and also the game against Canberra. They lost one by 1 possession, the other game by 2 possessions. So this weekend, they've got a back-to-back. They play Adelaide today, they play Townsville tomorrow. I feel like we're about to find out about the Sydney Uni Flames. What have they got, and are they a player in the playoff picture?
Well, I think it's really interesting. I think we're going to see 2 different styles of game. Adelaide certainly have the advantage, the height advantage in the big department with Nat Burton, Scherf, and then Adelaide conversely have the height in the guard department. Big guards in Talbot, Wilson, even Abby Warung is fairly big. So it'll be interesting to see which team capitalizes on that height advantage, whether they can look at mismatches, their running game, whether they're going to go tall ball, short ball. It'll be interesting. I'm intrigued by this game.
One of the best coaches to ever do it, Laurie Chiswick, with us for the call throughout. It's Adelaide and Sydney coming up. Courtside for us, Megan Huswaite again. Good afternoon, Megan. What's it like in Cairns?
Good afternoon, Corbin and Laurie. It is beautiful up here in Cairns and very well air-conditioned at the pop-up arena. Very much looking forward to this afternoon's game. For me, it feels a little bit like an elimination final. I know that seems a bit crazy to say that in round 3, but it is a 6-week season. Very excited to see what the Flames and the Lightning produce this afternoon.
We see the teams warming up in the background. The Sydney Uni Flames and the Adelaide Lightning. More from Megan Huswaite throughout the day. So Adelaide predominantly in the navy with the pink accent. Meanwhile, for the Sydney Uni Flames, they're predominantly in orange. Let's take a look at the starting lineup first of all for the Adelaide Lightning. Laurie Chiswick.
We see that there's their list of players there. Their starting lineup has been pretty set. They're going to match the height of Sydney by including Luella Tomlinson in the starting lineup. So Chris obviously was aware of the height and that he had to combat that. We know that Talbot, she is on fire. She didn't have a great game against Melbourne, but certainly came out and really lit things up when it came to that game against Bendigo.
So that's the lineup there. Of course, the team coached by Chris Lucas and Nat Hurst, part of the coaching staff, previously a member of their roster. Now to the other side of things, the Sydney Uni Flames. There's their lineup. Funda Nakasoglu came with big raps on her, Laurie, really coming off her best game of the campaign so far, 27 points against the Lynx.
Well, how fantastic is that, having somebody like that coming off your bench and scoring at that work rate. And also that last game they played, it should be noted, Annalie Maley, 20 rebounds. So that's something that certainly Adelaide are going to have to be really focused on. Scherf, Schwagmeyer, Belger, we know that they can do their thing. Mansfield, she's a great starter as well. And I'm looking forward to some really good matchups.
This is the first of 3 games played today, the Saturday of round 3 at the Cairns Pop-Up Arena. There's already been 1 match completed between the Southside Flyers and the Townsville Fire. Unfortunately, there's some injury news out of that game as well. To tell us what happened and what the latest is, back to Megan Huswaite courtside.
Well, there's a big news story developing out of Cairns, and it is to the MVP favourite from the Townsville Fire, Lauren Nicholson. She suffered an injury in the earlier game. Jenna O'Hay from the Flyers unfortunately fell on her, and she's got a very sore nose as a result of that. She's had the concussion tests and been cleared of that. But I had a quick chat to Lauren after the game. Her nose is crooked. They're going to go and get some tests done with her, but she'll certainly be in doubt, you would have to think, for tomorrow's game with Townsville coming up against Sydney tomorrow afternoon. So the Fire will have everything crossed that she'll be okay and that they hopefully don't lose her at any stage. But there was a lot of blood as a result of that hit, and we're just hoping she'll be okay because she's having an absolutely cracker season.
Oh, we're just seeing the pictures for the first time. We were getting ready for the call out the back and didn't see that when it happened. The Southside Flyers winning the game 94-70. She's been in tremendous form to start the new season as well, Lauren Nicholson.
See that that vision, Corbin, but she's one of my favorite players to watch. I think she has such a complete game. She's such a competitor, and it would be a real shame if that had an impact on the rest of her season.
A couple of themes that have unfolded through the opening part of the season as we're about to commence the Sydney Uni Flames and the Adelaide Lightning. One is the travel. You touched on Adelaide. They were obviously in quarantine. They were in Townsville. They've had to take the bus to Cairns. And so different teams are in different locations at certain times. Some have multiple trips. Some have 1 or 2 trips for the season. The other thing that we've seen unfolding is the strategy with coaches in terms of players. How do they manage minutes with such a condensed schedule, and particularly for both these teams where they're playing back-to-backs this weekend. So we'll see the Adelaide Lightning in action tomorrow against the Southside Flyers. Likewise, in our telecast game nationally, the Sydney Uni Flames up against Townsville. So a juggling act for coaches to decide who they use and when, particularly in the first leg of games.
I think it's a real strategic plan that the coaches have to orchestrate, and you're looking at, and that's why the importance of this game. You talk about the teams that we've sort of put in that top bracket, the teams in that middle bracket you have to win against, and that's where you'd put Adelaide and Sydney, both of them. They may rest players against the better teams, going, well, if we win it's a bonus, but right now we need to rest players for these really crucial games, which is what today's game is all about.
So the last word from Chris Lucas, the coach of the Adelaide Lightning. 3-1 to start the season. 2 early wins in Mackay, an overtime victory against Canberra, and then they beat Perth by 5 points, had that week out of action, which caused a reshuffle in the schedule after the Parafield cluster, so Adelaide forced into quarantine. And they were well beaten by Melbourne by 40 points back on Tuesday night, responded with a 6-point win over Bendigo. Meanwhile, for the Sydney Uni Flames, they're 2-4 to start the season with wins against the 2 teams below them in Bendigo and Perth. Today we'll see if they can prove if they're any more than that up against the Adelaide Lightning, another team trying to pinch a place in the playoffs as the 41st season of the WNBL continues up at the Cairns Pop-Up Arena.
As you mentioned, Corbin, their 2 losses, most recent losses against Townsville and Canberra, were by 3 and 5 points. So, and then they've beat Perth by 7 points. So they're used to some close encounters out there. So that might hold them in good stead if this happens to be a close game as well.
It's a beautiful arena. This is an old Bunnings warehouse that has been reconfigured into a basketball stadium. The Cairns Convention Centre is actually being redeveloped, a multi-million-dollar upgrade. Not available for the upcoming summer, so the Queensland government has put this together. We've got the old seating in the old court from the Cairns Convention Centre, and the Cairns Taipans will play their home games here this season, and of course home to the middle part of the WNBL season. We've got Sydney and Adelaide, and it's the Flames who get the opening tip as Burton wins it down. First touch of the basketball going the way of the team from Sydney is
I was
Mansfield.
interested, sorry Corbin, I was interested to see who was going to be guarding Annalie Maley, because they must be so focused on blocking her out every single possession.
Puts a shot up, doesn't drop. And the rebound goes the way of Adelaide as Talbot kicks it up the floor, and a nice layup. Chelsea Brook, the first points of the encounter. Adelaide 2, Sydney yet to score.
great to see Adelaide running the floor. Chelsea Brooks getting right to that point of the rim and a nice find with the pass.
Here is Annalise Maley, leading rebounder in the game. Coming off 20 rebounds in her last start. Schwagmeyer Belger out to the corner for Maley along the baseline. Great pace off the dribble, lays it home for an easy bucket.
That's so good if you can just catch and rip and go strongly to the basket. Split line help wasn't there yet. Nice easy basket for Maley.
He's Steph Talbot, one of the MVP fancies, down to Wilson. They'll rely on those two for a lot of their points today. Shot doesn't go.
See, that's what I was talking about in the opener. Wilson's got real height on Lauren Mansfield, and they tried to take advantage of that.
Oh, Bailey shot blocked. Luella Tomlinson keeps it out in the corner. Mansfield for the triple. Drills it. Nice start for Lauren Mansfield. Tomlinson with the handoff. Pump fake from Talbot, takes off. The foul's going to be called on the offense. Annalise Maley draws the foul. First 2 minutes, nice start for Sydney. It's against Luella Tomlinson trying to lay the pick.
Yeah, she was trying to, after Talbot used the screen, she was trying hard to roll to the basket and just was probably a bit too aggressive on that. Right move, just a bit aggressive.
Burton catches on the perimeter. Two bigs up top. Scherf down low now. Mansfield to Scherf. Scherf trying to back her way in, kisses it off the glass, doesn't go. Tomlinson scoops it up for Adelaide.
Luella Tomlinson just has beautiful long arms, and that's why she's right up there in the categories with shot blocking.
Brooke keeps it alive for Adelaide, swings it back into the midcourt. 8 seconds left on the red numbers. Wilson loses the handle and Sydney get another stop defensively. Schwagmeyer Belger swings it down low. Burton pops it up and in.
Great timing by Burton. Again, she ran the floor really well.
Tomlinson to Talbot. Dribble penetration, the layup doesn't go. Talbot tries to have a second go at it. She's out of bounds. Nice start for the Flames.
It certainly is. Coach Katrina Hibbert would be really happy with her charges, the way they're focusing on defense, getting some stops, but also, you know, their structures that they've put in place for offense.
Mansfield tries to dump it down low. Luella Tomlinson with the deflection. There's Coach Katrina Hibbert.
She had a real pleading look on her face there, didn't she?
Scherf catches the inbound. Mansfield down to Scherf. The open player Burton cutting through the lane. Shot goes up. No good. Long rebound will be scooped up by the Flames. Schwagmeyer Belger out to the corner. Maley tries a hand from three. Can't connect. Another look at it offensively.
You just can't give teams 2 and 3 opportunities to score. The odds are that they're going to get a good basket. As we can see, oh, Burton, Annalise Maley right in there again. This is their 4th opportunity.
Maley dumps it down to Burton, puts the shot up, no good, and Brooke forces the turnover, comes up with a loose ball. 5-point spread, and so many chances on that set. The Flames, and now Wilson draws the foul. It's against Burton. She'll go to the line for a couple of foul shots. Megan Huswaite with us courtside.
Very familiar face riding shotgun with Adelaide coach Chris Lucas. It's assistant coach Nat Hurst, 7-time WNBL champion, who retired at the end of last season. Haven't we got some star-studded assistant coaches in the league with Nat Hurst, Belinda Snell, and of course Kristen Veal at the UC Caps.
I love the fact that we've got past players that are getting into the coaching caper, and certainly Nat Hurst has well, as does Snelly, Kristen Veal, Larissa Anderson. They've all got great basketball IQs and are a real compliment to the coaches.
1 of 2 in this trip. Abigail Wareham winning the rebound there offensively, so having a piece of it with Maley. And Adelaide will recover the ball on the possession arrow. Talbot to Wilson. The open player Wareham drops a 3. Clean look. And that's good. And Abigail Wareham with her first points of the contest. Adelaide back within a point.
Wow, she had all sorts of time to shoot that ball and did it beautifully.
Mansfield off the dribble, down to Maley again, cuts baseline, shot up, no good. Luella Tomlinson recovers it for the Lightning. Werung running the length of the floor, out to Wilson. Dribbles inside, baseline Jay from Brooks, good. They found their groove offensively, Laurie, Chinzic Adelaide in front.
Really good ball movement, sharing the ball around, getting the defense, shifting them and getting another wide open look.
Schwagmeier-Belger with nowhere to go, kicks it back out, Burton to Mansfield. Now Scherf, catch and shoot, got it.
She can nail those shots, Lauren Scherf, and you just do not want to leave her out there. Make her put it to the ground, close out long, carry a hand.
Oh, Talbot just shoots it off the dribble.
Thank you, why not?
Oh, doesn't need to get too close to that three-point line. Bangs in a long rainbow three. Fourth lead change of the opening quarter, blow for blow at the moment.
If the shooting continues like that, our viewers are going to be in for a real treat this afternoon.
Last touch Adelaide, Sydney will keep it. Let's have a look at it again. Again, just cruising up the court. Steph Talbot, she's got the little block in front of her and thought, why not? Let's pop that up. Through it goes, nothing but nylon. Schwagmeier-Belger with a catch and shoot. Doesn't take the shot. Down to Scherf, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Pull up Jay, doesn't go. A rebound to Ella Badish for Adelaide. Off the bench. And for Alana Smith in this Adelaide lineup. Smith missing through injury. That ankle complaint. Last touch, Brooke over the baseline. Sydney ball. 4 lead changes in the opening quarter.
That was unfortunate that Alana wasn't able to join the Adelaide Lightning. She would have been a real asset to this team.
Here's Funda Nakasoglu, stripped in the double team. Badish leaves it for Wilson, lays it up. 2 more for Adelaide. Oh no. Now there's a mistake made by Sydney trying to bring the ball back in. They've turned it over. Let's have another look at this again. First of all, the strip, Badish just puts Wilson into plenty of room in the open court, running downhill.
Oh. See, now this is where I'd like to see Alex Wilson post up Funda. I mean, there's a huge mismatch there. Or have Talbot drive it to the basket, either or. Chris would be happy with that.
Great set offensively. Talbot with the bucket. Adelaide by 5 points. It's their biggest lead of the contest. Timeout called by Coach Hibbert and the Sydney Uni Flames. Adelaide 15, Sydney 10.
Pretty free flowing game right now, Corbin. Both teams are running. Both teams are certainly not afraid of shooting the ball. Good timeout by Coach Katrina Hibbert. Let's listen to see what she has to say.
Missed box out on the free throw line. Turnover on the inbounds. Not matching up properly on the 2-3 zone. We bump over. There's a shooter over there. You've got to go to the shooter. See the rotations. Get it done. That's the difference between this game. All right? Let's get it done execution-wise. All we're seeing are our bigs. We've got to actually see the other side of the floor as well. With these skips, closeouts, shoot with confidence. All right, next possession, let's run a flame. A flame. Get through it and find a shot at the back. Let's go, girls. Get your matchups. We are.
What did you make of all that from Coach Katrina Hibbert?
Well, just a very direct reminder of some of the little things that they're just not getting done at all that make a difference. Blocking out, getting to split line, getting through hands. So, you know, she was pretty adamant. They can do all those things. They just need to refocus right now.
Sydney led it by 5 early. It's Adelaide by 5 now. Momentum with the Lightning. Nakasoglu just on the floor. Away to Carly Bowe, trying to hand it off to Annalie Maley. Under pressure from Talbot. Maley on the hardwood, trying to chuck it away. Jump ball, great work Adelaide. It's Werung in the end. Throws her body on the line.
So that really started with Steph Talbot trying to deny that wing pass and making it really difficult for Annalie to catch it. She caught it quite close to the sideline, so didn't have a lot of movement, able to make a lot of movement, and they were able to get the jump ball situation.
Maley catches on the perimeter. Scherf calling for it in the low block. 3 left on the shot clock. Funda puts up the jump shot. Can't get it to go. Wilson competing for the rebound. Mansfield in the other direction. Contact to be called there. I think on Carly Bogue floating through. Take it down. Wilson, and a foul called against the Flames. 5-point game, Adelaide ball. Bogue with their first. Here's Wera. Scoop layup, goes up, doesn't drop. Scherf with the rebound. Mansfield to Nakasoglu. Oh, bounce pass through to Maley and had a foot on the baseline as she collects. Funda Nakasoglu coming off big outing against Perth last start on Monday. 27 points, 4 from 5 from the perimeter. There she is with that pass through to Maley. We've seen her do that already, Laurie, with success, not on this occasion.
No, again, the spacing wasn't very great and the angles weren't great in that. Nice steal here.
Schwagmeier-Belger, excellent. Trying to recover the ball for Sydney. Out of bounds, last touch by the Flames. So Adelaide will get it with the full court pressure on from the Flames. Opening quarter action. Sydney 2 and 4. Adelaide 3 and 1 on the season. Two teams trying to push for a playoff spot. Catch and shoot in the corner. Rattles out. Rebound to Carly Bogue. Oh, Mansfield lost the handle up the floor. Big season for Lauren Mansfield as well. The 30-year-old coming across from Perth. We've seen her in Opal's squads in the past, but not part of the squad heading towards Tokyo for next year. And a number of young guards already lighted up this season, Laurie Chiswick, so I'm sure she'll have a point to prove.
Well, there are a lot of guards that Sandy Brondello is looking at, and Lauren Mansfield is a quality player, has had, you know, many years in the WNBL, and she's now leading this Sydney team really ably.
44% from the three-point line this year, averaging 13 points, 5 assists a game through the opening 6 matches. Sydney in the orange, Adelaide predominantly in navy blue. Schwagmeier-Belger off the handoff, tough fadeaway shot, doesn't go. Shot clock violation. Adelaide come up with it before all of that. Talbot tries to swing it over to the weak side, but Wilson misses it. And out it goes. Sydney get it back. So a few turnovers both sides of the ball here.
Well, I think I would have liked Talbot to either pull up and shoot a jump shot or attack the defender. The defender was back, but their feet were still moving. They weren't set, so, you know, attack it. Try and get yourself to the foul line.
Still at 5 points. Schwagmeier-Belger. At the Carly Bogue. Oh, shot goes up from Mansfield. No good. Rebound to Talbot. Chance for them downhill. Wilson, great pass to Talbot. Keeps on going and lays it in for 2 more. And Steph Talbot up to 7 points for Adelaide, leads all scorers.
She is so nice to watch, Talbot. She's fit, she's strong, great defensive shuffling there, as we just saw on the screen.
Schwagmeier-Belger for 3 more. Misfires. And Adelaide come up with it. Clean look here. Shot goes up from Whittle, and that's good. Plenty of time left free on the perimeter, and she bangs them down more often than not. Marina Whittle.
Sydney have just come to a real standstill with their scoring output.
Here's Greaves, the handoff to Mansfield. Pull-up jump shot. Again, it doesn't go off the rim.
Those were 2 really good shots she took. They're just not dropping at the moment.
Wilson for more points. Off the iron, Wilson crashing through, can't recover it, and fouls Bogue. It's Carly Bogue, a twin sister Chris in the same lineup. You're right, it has just completely dried up for them, hasn't it? Sydney offensively after a nice start. They led 7-2. They now trail by 10.
And I'm sure that 7 points was in the first couple of minutes of the quarter, so they really haven't scored much in the last 7 minutes.
Mansfield trying to get them going. Swagmeyer, Belger, dribble penetration, jump shots up, and it's good. And that breaks the run.
Classic spin move, nice balance pull-up.
It was 12 consecutive points for Adelaide before that basket. For the 6th woman of the year from last year in Swagmeyer Belger. They forced the turnover here. Swagmeyer Belger making her way to the basket, lays it up, no good. Talbot pulls down the defensive board.
The thing that's great about Talbot is when she gets a rebound, she can then, you know, put the ball to the floor and push it up the floor. She doesn't have to make an outlet pass. She can take it herself, and that's really valuable.
Final play here of the opening quarter. 8-point differential. Bogue the handoff. Swagmeyer Belger trying to find her way to the basket. Kicks it out the road. Tough shot up. Doesn't drop. Nice work from Ortleb getting out to get the hand up defensively and affect the shot. So first quarter which had a bit of everything. 4 lead changes. Sydney led it by 5 early. It's Adelaide by 8 at quarter time. Adelaide 20, Sydney 12. WNBL second quarter action 90 seconds away. Adelaide Lightning, they'd won only 7 quarters for the season so far. They can now make that 8, turning around an early 5-point deficit. Largely thanks to this woman, Steph Talbot, in the MVP conversation early. She had 7 points and 4 rebounds in 10 minutes of basketball. It was less than that, obviously, having a stint on the bench in between, but an 8-point margin. That's what Adelaide led it by at quarter time. Megan Huswaite is always close to the action courtside for us. Megan, what did you pick up at quarter time?
I am Corbin. Well, we know Chris Lucas is a terrific coach, but just really impressive the way he was speaking to his players at quarter time. We know they're a very new group, only 2 returning players this season, and of course they had that week in hotel quarantine, but he spoke individually to each member of the starting 5 and just really clear communication the Lightning know what they need to do as we go into this second term.
So there's just a little bit of an issue with the game clock at the moment, so that's what the hold-up is before the second quarter gets underway.
No, good call. Well done.
Nice insight as always from Megan Huswaite, close by.
I think it would be. I think it's a really good fit, and you mentioned this earlier, Megan, with Natty Hurst as Chris's assistant. She will learn a world of things from Chris working with him, but at the same time she's got a huge basketball IQ, and it's really good for Chris to be able to converse with her. She was his point guard last year, so she knows what he wants, how he operates, and I think it's a really good fix, really good match.
I think so too. It's wonderful transition from player into assistant coach, and I think it's wonderful to see, as you said before, Laurie, past players in this league particular going down the pathways into the coaching roles.
You mentioned Sydney shooting the ball, so just 24% from the field in that opening quarter. Here are the individual leaders. Steph Talbot again leading the way with 7. The team shot the ball at 57% in that opening quarter. 3 of 6 from the perimeter. A couple of them were clean looks. The rebounding count +4 Adelaide's way. They also had 7 turnovers in that opening quarter, so a bit of everything from Adelaide, the good and the bad.
Well, before we started this game, and I was looking at and comparing the stats between the two teams, and they're actually really similar. If you look at points per game that are scored, points against, their foul shooting percentage, all those sorts of things really, really similar. So that's why we expected a close game today, and we're hopefully going to see that. I think Sydney, they just need to relax a little bit. You know, they'll find their rhythm. They struggled scoring. I think if they use their screens a little bit more, just relax on their shot. We see Scherf's going to be coming back out there, take advantage of her height, and they'll be fine.
Those numbers that you spoke about, so dead even field goal percentage at 38% on the season. Turnovers per game, both have 14. Points per game, Sydney +1.5.
Yeah.
3-point percentage, Sydney +9. That's the biggest differential. Free throws 76 to 75%. Rebounds 43 to 41.5. So nothing between them in the key categories, as you touched on through the first couple of rounds of the season. Megan Huswaite, what's happening with the clock?
Maybe she's helping them fix it.
Yes.
Well, the other stats that you look at is the for the overall league, the player stats, and this game has so many leaders in there. So we've got Steph Talbot is leading in points. Maley is #1, Talbot 2 in rebounds. We've got Mansfield 2 in assists, Talbot 1 in steals, and Schwagmeyer 2. So all over the place, these two teams have players that are in the top of those categories.
Any update for us, Megan, as to what's taking place?
We've got a small power outage on the scorer's bench, guys. Get the feeling that there's a lot of cords into a few power points happening down here at the Cairns Pop-Up Arena. We did have a similar issue the other night, so just the staff here at the Pop-Up Arena, the wonderful staff, are just attending to it now. So hopefully we'll be back on court shortly. The starting fives are just out there talking amongst themselves. Lauren Mansfield addressing the Sydney players, as we might be able to see here. The Sydney bench just waiting to see what happens next. Chris Lucas starting to pace up and down for Adelaide Lightning. I can't imagine it's pleasing Chris Lucas too much at the moment.
Well, I know I was commentating for the ABC many years ago, and we were at Perry Lakes, and there was the score clock went out, some lights went out, and we looked across from where we were at the commentary team, and there was a fire in the roof.
Wow.
So that certainly delayed the game, and we just had to sort of keep talking through it and that. So let's hope this doesn't result in a fire, that just it's a power outage. But
there's a lot of wood at the old Perry Lakes venue as well. So obviously, the brand new basketball centre there. Of course, the Jack Bendat Basketball Centre in Mount Claremont, home to a lot of things in West Australian basketball at the moment. I touched on earlier, the venue that they're using is a converted Bunnings warehouse, which is used on a temporary basis, so that it's all in the name as a pop-up arena. They've done a tremendous job to piece together this stadium. The chairs and the seating has come over from the Cairns Convention Centre, as has the floor, but essentially it's an old big warehouse, and they've been managed to put air conditioning in there. They've got temporary change rooms. So all these things have come together to form what is a pretty impressive facility to host indoor sports. The Super Netball had games played there in their most recent season, which was completed in September, or in October, in fact. Obviously, the WNBL are playing there, and the Cairns Taipans will have their home fixtures at the venue for the upcoming NBL season.
it always amazes me how they can do something like that so easily and effortlessly. Like that looks, from our point of view here, looks like a great stadium to play at. And you know, when I think about being at the Australian Open here in Melbourne, and halfway through that second week they convert one of the Hisense Arena to a basketball court, and there's an NBL game.
Yep.
I mean, it's fantastic the way they can do that, and we're able to, you know, look at that vision of that court. It looks great.
So we'll host a number of games for the middle portion of the regular season, and then all the teams make their way back to Townsville. Townsville Stadium will be home of the WNBL playoffs. So a delaying game here due to a clock issue. The Lightning and the Flames hope to continue shortly, but Megan Huswaite has caught up with Adelaide Maley courtside.
Here with Annalie Maley on the Sydney bench as we're just waiting to get back on. This is a bit of a strange feeling after wanting to come out after the break and try and see some momentum.
Yeah, hopefully we can use this to get, you know, some rest into our legs so we can come out with that energy that we're needing coming into the second quarter. So
it's been a tough one in the first quarter. You guys got out to an early lead and Adelaide came back as you knew, but what do you reckon you need to really lock down on in this second term when we do get into it?
I think our D-trans is key here. We can't let Talbot get going downhill. So I think that if we can weather this storm, and that's, you know, there's waves in the game and then we can come back at them. So I think we just got to ride out the wave and push it back down the other end the way that they've been doing that to us.
I'm sure Dad's watching at home if you want to say hi to Paul Maley.
Hey, Dad.
I'm sure we've had some power outages at the Maley household over the years. I don't know whether this is sort of too many cords in one PowerPoint.
Yeah, I think so. You had about 8 people over there trying to fix it, so...
Annalie, thank you for your time, and to the Flames for incredible access on the bench. We hope you're out there shortly.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Great to catch up with Annalie. Resume. We've got a quarter in the books at least. The Lightning 20, Flames 12. 4 lead changes in the opening quarter. Fair to say, Laurie Chiswick, that Adelaide had all the momentum headed towards quarter time. Interesting to see what role this actually plays in the game, and Chris Lucas isn't too happy at all. His team were up and about heading into the break at quarter time.
Chris is saying to the refs, so we're up now, let's call the game. Let's go home here. We can have a bit of a rest.
We hope not. We've got plenty of basketball in us yet. The WNBL continues after this brief delay. Let's kick it down to courtside. Megan Huswaite has a very special guest alongside her. Megan.
Well, we are here with the coach of the Southside Flyers, Cheryl Chambers, who... No rest for the wicked, Cheryl. You played and won this afternoon and doing a bit of a scouting ahead of tomorrow's game. Haven't had much to see so far, but I'm sure you've been very happy with the win this afternoon over Townsville.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Townsville are a great team and they put points on the board pretty quickly, so we're happy to defend them in some of the quarters and really happy to get away with the win.
How important is it to get wins like that? We know it's a tough season, you've had a couple of tough losses, but it's a work in progress, I imagine.
Yeah, it is. I mean, absolutely. Every time, because you don't get to train, you need to go out there and work on things, and we've been trying to move the ball a bit better, so I think that's starting to improve, and now we just need it at both ends.
Liz continues to shine at both ends. She seems to be really happy and enjoying her basketball. How are you enjoying coaching her?
Oh, look, she's fantastic. She's a personality, as you can see, and she brings a whole lot of vibrance with her. So we're having some fun with it, and, you know, she helps us score, which is always fun as well.
And it's been a few weeks together now with quarantine in Brisbane and then life in the hub, and you all just, I'm sure, I'm loving spending all this time together because you do get on very well as a group.
Yeah, we do. And what a better place to be than Cairns. I mean, I haven't been here for years and years, and it's just gorgeous, so we're really enjoying it.
Big game tomorrow. How important is it to try and get 2 wins out of a big weekend?
Yeah, absolutely, really important. I think all the teams, especially in the back-to-back, you know, they're tough ones to get, so we're really keen to try and get it.
We'll let you hopefully get back to watching some basketball, Cheryl. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for your time.
No worries, thank you.
She touched on it there, Coach Chambers. That's Cheryl Chambers, the coach of the Southside Flyers, with Megan Huswaite. The effort defensively from the Southside Flyers, and I'm sure that would be a huge focus for them. If you keep the team to 70 points out of the 27 games that have been played, only 2 of them have lost by keeping aside to that number. Today they kept Townsville to 70. And with the games that they've lost, I think they've been exposed defensively at times in games against the Boomers and Canberra, their 2 losses on the season.
Well, Corbin, I've been reflecting on defense in this season, and I've been fairly critical at times, thinking, oh, why, you know, look at the dribble penetration, they can't contain, where are their rules? And then I really put it in perspective, and I thought, these teams don't train. And to get your defensive rules down, you need to train. You can talk about them, you can watch tape, but you need to get on court and practice them and repeat it, and it be repetitive so that it becomes really automatic. So I've decided to cut the teams a little bit of slack. Yep. and you know, celebrate when there is some really good defense. But you know what? It's tough, and you do need to train, and they just are not getting that opportunity. Do
you think that'll favour teams in the long run that have been able to keep their core in place from one season to the next? And I look at the teams that have beaten Southside so far. Melbourne Boomers, particular focus to try and keep as many of them together, and likewise Canberra. The thing that's underpinned, I think, their wins and their best wins on the season so far is that they just defend like no other team in the league.
I think that's exactly right, spot on, that those teams would know their coaches' philosophy on defense. They would have, you know, tweaked them from year to year, but basically how Paul Goris or how Guy Malloy goes about teaching and running their defensive rules would be very similar. And so certainly having a group that's been there for a while would help. And you know, can I just at this stage, and especially just talking to Cheryl, seeing her sitting there watching a game right after they've played, a shout out to all the coaches and the assistant coaches in the league. All this time we've been talking about the players and the adversity and how tough it is on them. I can't imagine as a coach the challenges that they face. You finish a game, you have to go back and cut up tape of the team that you've just played and debrief and go through the players and teaching points from that. And then immediately at the same time, you have to be looking ahead to your next opposition. Sometimes you have, you know, games day after day. So I think the coaches, I give them full credit for what they're doing. They have to teach in a different way because they're not on court, and it would be a huge challenge.
It's a great point. I've got some good news as well. Next 60 seconds, we should have restart, which is good. You might have heard the horn in the background, so that's positive news. The second quarter can get underway. Adelaide by 8 points over the Sydney Uni Flames. Megan Huswaite courtside. Megan.
Well, Cheryl Chambers was just mentioning to me off air, she's sitting with Karen Dalton, of course, former Sydney coach, with Sydney playing this afternoon, and they actually coached against each other when Cheryl was coaching Bulleen and Karen was coaching Sydney, and this exact thing happened at the Veneto Club in Bulleen, and they were having a laugh and saying that a man at that stadium, and Laurie coached many games there, got a microphone and did a bit of a manual shot clock for the rest of the game, counting down. So it's good to know we've got these things on hand if anything like this happens again in WNBL 20.
Have you put your hand up, Megan, for that role if it gets to that and they need someone to shout out the numbers?
Oh, Corbin, I think I will probably have to do the DJ duties if I do have to double up this afternoon, so I may have to leave it to someone else, and I'll just talk to you guys and play some tunes.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've covered an NBL game where that happened as well. Same thing where they had to count out the numbers from the shot clock. That is, yeah, it's going back, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it was in Townsville, to be honest, in a game that was played up there.
Well, this is a season like no other. We know we have to be versatile, we have to be flexible, and it'll be interesting to see which team right now can focus and come out for this second quarter.
You can't guard against that. Little things like these that happen with technology, it's just the way it is, as the Bruce Hornsby song goes.
Yeah.
That will be the shot clock now.
So good news, both teams back out on the floor.
Can you please tell Chris exactly when
Opening quarter, which feels like a long time ago, Laurie, if you're just tuning in and you're wondering what happened in quarter number 1. Flames led early, 7 points to 2 by 5 points. There were 4 lead changes in the opening quarter. Adelaide went on a 12-0 run at one stage. A couple of late buckets for Sydney brought it back to 8 points at quarter time. So 20-12 the scoreline.
We can see that Taylor Ortlip is about to throw the ball in for Adelaide. I thought she had really good minutes in their last game. She came off the bench and did some quality things. I understand she had an MRI in her knee last night, so I hope that that's something that's not, you know, long-term and going to bother her the rest of the season, because they really need her coming off the bench.
So the shot clock isn't working, but I've been told that Michelle Menzies from Basketball Australia is going to have to count them out. So it's something we have seen in Australian pro basketball in the past, and we're going to get it here. But the good news is the basketball's back underway. It's Sydney who trail by 8 points. They're in possession at the moment in the orange singlets. Scherf all the way across the floor. Mansfield to Schwagmeyer Belger. Kicks it back out to Mansfield. As the numbers start to count down over the PA, Mansfield shoots but misses. And Talbot, of course, grabs another rebound. 7 and 5, her early numbers. Marina Whittle. Away to Ortlip, who you were just discussing a minute ago, Laurie, to Badish, and now to Wilson. Back to Ortlip. Catch and shoot. Off the iron. Trying to scoop it up, and Schwagmeyer Belger comes up with it for the Flames. Scherf thought about dumping it down low, does now to Carly Bogue. Third attempt, can't control the handle, and Adelaide get the stop. Whittle.
Right idea from Scherf to Bogue, the high-low action, just probably was a little bit late in that pass.
Offensive foul to go against Steph Talbot. Nice draw from Kira Rowe. Let's have a look at this again.
Good anticipation by Rowe. She's a really good defender, Kira. You know, moves her feet really well, has good lateral movement, and really anticipated which way Talbot was going.
Schwagmeyer Belger. Scherf thought about the handoff, is going to go herself. One way then the other. Out to Mansfield. Left it a little short. Scherf reaching over the back. Adelaide scoop it up through Badish.
Adelaide was in a zone there, did a good job of a matchup zone, staying with players until they could pass them off, and got a stop as a result.
Here's Talbot, the engine that makes this Lightning team go, as she puts the ball on the floor and draws the foul. Trying to make her way through 2 defenders. 2 minutes into the second quarter, which was delayed after that clock outage. The clock hasn't restarted, but nothing's going to stop the WNBL this year, Laurie. There's not a pandemic, there's nothing. They're going to shout the numbers over the PA. The competition will continue and is.
Do they have those little flip cards that has the score on them?
14, correct? Thank you. 14 seconds.
A few little technical problems. The team's doing a great job, so bear with us and you'll be treated to some of the best basketball that there is in the world. Being played in our backyard.
Here we go.
Up in Cairns. Across 3 cities, the 41st edition of the WNBL. Adelaide by 8 points. Werung out to Talbot. Down to the corner. Werung back to Talbot up top. Plenty of time. Left it a little short. Still doesn't go. 2.5 minutes without any score either way. We did call for more defense, and this is what we're getting. This row. Scherf, great cut. Mansfield lays it in. There's some points.
Great cut and great pass.
Back to a 6-point game. There's that tremendous pass. Scherf spotting Mansfield cutting to the bucket.
She cut to score there too, so she was ready when she caught that ball to go up and finish.
Talbot wants it back. Puts up the jump shot, rims out.
That did everything but fall in.
Swagmire Belger down to Maley. Up top to Scherf for a second triple. Off the rim. Talbot again with another board. It's up to 6 rebounds already. Runs out of room over the baseline. Nice defending from the Flames. Forced the turnover. So still a 2-possession game. Adelaide 20, Sydney 14.
See, that's another example of Talbot being able to get that rebound and then burst out of the defense and defensive end, and she just lost her handles on that in that instance.
Here you guys.
Scherf trying to make a move to the bucket around Tomlinson. Reverse layup doesn't go.
Tomlinson's another one that I thought came in that last game against Bendigo and played some really valuable minutes.
Only 14, so down on her usual output, but as you said, big involvement in the game. Spin move to the basket, puts it up, doesn't go. Last touch, Adelaide. Sydney will get it again, so another stop defensively. We saw them do this at times in the opening quarter. They weren't able to cash in at the other end of the floor, and so again now they get multiple stops. Adelaide haven't scored in the second quarter, which is a few minutes old. They've got to get to work here. Rowe with the handoff to Maley. Maley decides to shoot. No good. Wilson early advance. Talbot can't control it. Out it goes.
So right now, Adelaide are, the idea is right, the execution just isn't there.
Swagmire Belger last year, 6th Woman of the Year, playing at Perth, first year at Sydney. Rowe to Scherf. Scherf tries to scoop layup, no good. Over the baseline, and Talbot just knocks it away. So we'll get another go at it here, Sydney. Hasn't quite happened for her so far this year, Alison Swagmire Belger. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. 3-time State League MVP, WA's State League.
I don't think the stat line as such shows that, but I still think she's a valuable member. You have to guard her. You have to respect what she does out there, and she's just a competitor.
Talbot. Down to Brooke, puts up the jump hook. No good, and Scherf the rebound. Mansfield tries her hand. Doesn't get the shooter's roll.
Blue ball. 24.
Wilson trying to pull down the rebound.
Timeout blue. Timeout blue.
Timeout called here as well by Coach Chris Lucas and the Adelaide Lightning. They haven't scored so far in this quarter. It's most unusual for the Adelaide Lightning, so they've gone 4 minutes 40 now without a basket. Yet they still lead the game by 6. We've only had 1 make so far from the field through almost 5 minutes in this second quarter.
I think it's a good idea to call a timeout, just to sort of you know, they've done a lot of work for no reward right now. So I think you just need to reinforce the positives out there, that they are taking some good inside shots. They're doing some good post-up moves, some mismatches, just not finishing. So they need to keep at it. They need to stick to their defensive rules, stick to their offensive structures, and it'll come.
Yeah, stretch it. All right, stretch it here. Don't stop here. Rebound, rebound. Hey, get the ball moving.
All right, pistols are working.
Back end of
2s and 3s reversal.
Chris Lucas.
Taylor's in the full. All right,
Rebounding count, Adelaide +4. Only got one offensive rebound though. The field goal percentages are suffering in this second quarter. Adelaide down to 40% after shooting the ball at 57% of the opening quarter. And Sydney, who shot 24% in the first quarter, their overall team percentage is down to 20. Can that timeout kickstart both teams? Take two at the restart. Adelaide by 6 in the navy blue with the pink accent.
Sydney have come out in a zone.
Here's Talbot from the corner, pours it in. Steph Talbot with some class.
So that's the way you beat a zone. If you can get the zone pass it into somebody at that foul line area, we call it the nail, then kick it back out again, wide open look.
Nice block, Luella Tomlinson reaching over the top, keeps the shot out from Schwagmeyer Belger. Let's have a look at that again. Scherf calls for it on the inbounds. Last touch, Wilson over the sideline. Nat Burton about to check back into the game.
So
Right.
Sydney are back to their 2 talls. See if they can take advantage of that.
Burton and Scherf, the 2 bigs out on the floor. Annalee Maley thought about the look. Scherf likewise. Dribble penetration. Puts up the runner. That's good. Points at both end. Lauren Scherf for their second mate.
You got it.
7-point game. Talbot shakes Maley. Wareham to Wilson.
Sorry, guys.
And Tomlinson, in fact, the pass to Talbot. Maley overcommitted. Talbot makes her pay. Banks down her second triple. Back-to-back threes for Steph Talbot.
Good timeout, Coach Chris Lucas.
Adelaide getting their offense going. Here's Funda Nakasoglu, puts up the shot, no good. Maley crashes through, collides with Wilson, who hits the hardwood. Big collision, Maley and Wilson, no call from the refs. Sydney recovered the ball. Annalee Maley, we know how hard she crushes those boards. Look at the collision here between her and Wilson. Oh. You're not at the ballet. Whew.
No. Listening to Annalee the other day, she was saying that she loves that competitiveness of going after the boards every single time. She sets herself a challenge, and you can just see it. It's relentless. She is relentless.
Alex Wilson, pretty tough cookie too. She's straight back up and stays out there on the floor. Maley to Schwagmeyer Belger for 3. Can't complete. And Brooke pulls it down for Adelaide. Here's Wilson back up the floor. Hands it back, Chelsea Brooke to Tomlinson. Inside the key, kicks it back out. Wilson retreats, shoots it. Oh, rings out. Again, did everything but drop. Nakasoglu trying to catch in the corner, a little too much on the pass. And Sydney's offensive set comes undone. 10-point game, timeout called by Coach Lucas. Schwagmeyer Belger with the pass. Funda free in the corner. Just can't trap it and get a shot up. 10-point game, Adelaide lead it. The Lightning 26, Sydney 16. Might check in with Katrina Hibbert momentarily. What would you be saying, Laurie?
Well, I think you have to lock down Steph Talbot. You can't leave her open now. She's shot 2 threes. But I mean, she's so hard to defend because you close out, you take away that three, and yet she's got such an explosive first step and can get to the basket. But you really need to key in on her and make sure she doesn't start getting on more of a roll than she already has.
We need to be able to
Here's
change
Coach
the
Hibbert.
pace, and I need to have confidence that we can go into a zone. All right, let's go a flicker for Nat. Flicker for Nat. All right, let's nice and strong with the move. We are.
It's not happening for them offensively. Sydney Uni Flames, 7 of, I think it's 24 from the field, so 21%. And 20% from the three-point line.
Blue ball, blue ball.
2 of 10.
24 seconds.
We haven't really spoken much about Brooke, but she's been really
Yeah, here we go.
valuable in this lineup. She doesn't necessarily have big numbers, but she just chips away at things, does the hard things. You know, you see her setting some good screens.
Out on the floor at the moment, number 8 for the Lightning. This is Werung on the deck trying to wrestle the ball free. A jump ball will be called. Chelsea Brooke, 22-year-old. From the Barossa Valley. She won a State League MVP as a teenager. She's now, as I said, 22. And a member of the starting unit for the Adelaide Lightning. That's Abigail Werung.
It's nice to see so many homegrown talent on the Adelaide Lightning this year. Some of the youngsters, Taylor Ortlip, Morgan Yeager, they've all been involved in South Australian basketball for many years.
Wilson runs into the shoulder of Scherf. Funda brings it up for Sydney. Maley to Scherf, to Nakasoglu. Down to Burton. The 1-2 with Scherf. Burton, the spin move, and that's good. Left-handed layup. So we heard from Coach Katrina Hibbert short time ago, and points for Nat Burton on that nice set on the back of it.
That was some really good screening action in the baseline to get Burton free, and it was a really nice poised finish.
Whittle, nice pump fake, draws the foul. Maley up in the air and fouling.
Two shots, blue 21.
Marina Whittle will have some foul shots coming up. Megan Huswaite's courtside. Megan.
Well, that's the closest that Marina Whittle and Annalee Maley have been in a little while. They are a couple and they haven't seen each other too much during the hub because of their opposing team schedules. And of course, Marina was in quarantine for a week, so no doubt bragging rights will be on the line in this game for them today.
2 of 2 for Whittle at the free throw line. Back to 10 points. Mansfield had a look, didn't take it. Here's Burton trying to back away on Brooke. Shot goes up. No. Wilson comes up with it for Adelaide. Wilson driving, shot up. Can't connect. Here's Maley. Works it up the floor. Funda, step back off the dribble. That's good.
That is quality basketball from Funda Nagasoglu. That footwork, the way she shot the ball with such confidence, you can tell she's been around, she's played internationally. She's a really good pickup for the Flames.
Whittle, great pass, Brooke, extra pass, away to Werung, shoots the 3. Not on that occasion, out it goes, Sydney ball. More changes for both teams. Coming off a 27-point game, Funda Nakasoglu, just the 2 for her so far tonight. You see the 3-point shooting. Adelaide at a healthy clip, above 40. While Sydney just 2 of 10 from long range and just 20 points closing in on half time.
We see number 10, Sinead Greaves, has stepped onto the court.
Mansfield, great pass. Burton on the end of it. Makes it off the glass. And Sydney back within 6.
They're really looking inside now in that high-low action. Oh, such a breakdown defensively. But again, I'm not going to be critical.
Steph Talbot in plenty of room to pop it in for more points. She's up to 15 for the game. And answering every punch that Sydney had for them at the moment. Nakasoglu at the other end. Shot up, second attempt's good. Keeps it at 6 points. 2-possession game as we close in on the half. Whittle off the dribble. Baseline J from Badish. No good. Greaves out after it. Last touch Badish. Sydney ball.
Just one more step for you, please.
So after their troubles offensively, they get a make here, Laurie Chiswick. All of a sudden, they're within touching distance at half-time. If not already. Mansfield to Greaves. Around the horn they go. Nakasoglu dumps it down low. Burton gets to work. Lays it home for another basket. So Nat Burton taking over here in this second quarter. Sydney within 4.
Well, it's so smart because Nat Burton is so much more experienced, and Ella Batishan show that they're getting it to her, and she's really finishing strongly.
Brooke at the other end. A jump hook answer straight back for Adelaide. He sung her praises earlier, Chelsea Brooke. 2 seconds to go. Mansfield, as time expires, the shot doesn't drop. And it'll be a 6-point game at half-time. So an entertaining end to that second quarter. Both teams having their problems offensively in that second quarter, but a 6-point margin, 2-possession game at the half. Adelaide 32, Sydney Uni Flames 26.
Well, it took them a while to get going after that break, and it obviously had an effect on both teams. But certainly after that timeout, we kick-started and got going.
Megan Huswaite courtside with Alex Wilson.
Well, Ali, how did that break in the game affect momentum? How did you guys get your heads around that?
Yeah, that definitely wasn't convenient for us. We got a little bit cold, and we really needed to come back out after that break and focus on our defence. We're not really happy with what we're doing defensively at the moment.
Do you think that will be the message at halftime, to come out and do it on the other side of this break, given Sydney's comeback late in that quarter?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've kept them to 26, so that's pretty good, but we're not happy with our principles, so I think Chris will reiterate that in the break.
You're tough, so is Adelaide Maley. How was that big crunch?
Yeah, I got one in the chest, but it's just basketball, so it's all good.
It is. Good luck in the second half. Thanks, Ali.
Thanks, Megan.
Two pretty tough combatants, there's no doubt about that. Annalee Maley and Alex Wilson at half-time. Laurie Chiswick and the Lightning lead by 6. What numbers jump off the page at you?
Well, if you look at the straight away, the shooting percentages, 43 to 29 and 42 to 20. The other thing that's interesting is foul shots. There's only been 4 in the whole game, so I know the refs are letting it go a little bit, but I think there's a bit of settling for those outside perimeter shots. Otherwise, pretty equal. Rebounds certainly equal.
Let's take a look at a few of the highlights from that first half of basketball. It was one in which was interrupted due to the game clock failing out of anyone's control. These technology glitches that happen, and it did really affect the momentum and the flow of the game, and we saw the two teams really struggle to find their groove offensively, Laurie, in the early parts of that second term.
Well, I think that break, they probably all cooled down. I know they got the ball in their hands for probably the last minute before we started again, but yeah, your coach has already had the talk. You come out there, there's this delay, and it really did dry up for both teams. Certainly after Chris Lucas called that timeout, that's when the scoring for both teams started. And as we can see on screen there, Steph Talbot again had a magnificent second quarter.
She has to be in the MVP conversation, Steph Talbot. I mean, she put up some ridiculous numbers in week 1, was the player of the round. She's 15-7 here at halftime, leading the way again for the Lightning.
Well, you'd have to talk about her amongst other people, and I hope for Steph's sake and for Adelaide's sake, they need her playing really well. But she's just a star, and I love the way she goes about her business. And her leadership role this year with the Adelaide Lightning, I think she's really relishing that as well.
Of course, the standalone captain of the team, Steph Talbot, and there's Lauren Scherf with a late bucket to bring it back to 6 points at the half. Annalee Maley just overcommitting on Steph Talbot, and one of her many threes that she's made in that opening half of basketball. So, as I mentioned, 15 points and 7 rebounds for Steph Talbot. And as a result, her team leads by 6 at the half. Second half action not too far away. Megan Huswaite is back with us courtside. Megan, you had the chance to catch up with one player very well known to basketball fans, both at Olympic and WNBL level.
I sure have. Rachel Jarry is one of 3 Rio Olympians returning to the WNBL this season. Rachel with the Southside Flyers, and the unique structure of this season in a hub has allowed her to do so as she embarks on an exciting new career change.
I'm back in the WNBL just because I love basketball. I did take a year off last season, but you know, and that was just, I guess, for a mental break, and yeah, just had the opportunity to sign with Southside and super excited about our team. I've pretty much played with everyone on this team. Obviously, like Jenna and Liz and I played in that WNBL Championship back in the day, back when I was a rookie, and it kind of feels like yesterday, but also so long ago. And then to be able to play again with Leilani is probably one of the best point guards in the world. I've grown up playing with Steph, and obviously to get back and play with Sarah and a lot of these young girls, yeah, that was a big factor for me in signing, so very excited about it. We won't shy away from saying that we're here to win. We've put together a very talented roster, but it's going to be such a challenging season, and that is very exciting for us, but also, you know, we've got to have to be focused for the whole season, and really, you know, come to win for every game. Last season, when I was having the year off, I applied and went to the police academy in Victoria and became a police officer. Something I'm very excited about, and I'm loving it. They're very different, but I think having that sporting background and being able to give and receive feedback is pretty important, and I'm grateful that I've had so many experiences in basketball. I think it's going to really help me in my career. The WNBL is important because it's our premier women's basketball league, and we're role models for so many young people in this country. And you know, I remember growing up watching Lauren Jackson, Michelle Timms, Rahani Cox, Penny Taylor, those kind of women, and we want to inspire another generation to be able to achieve what they want to achieve.
Well, Rachel Jarry adding a wealth of experience to the Southside Flyers this season. She was just a baby with Liz Cambage and Jenna O'Hay, part of that first ever WNBL Championship at the Bulleen Boomers in 2010-11. And Corbin, it will be pretty amazing if the 3 of them can do it again with the Flyers in the WNBL hub.
It's a great package, Megan. Congratulations, and a tremendous insight into Rachel Jarry, such a decorated basketballer for our country, an Olympian a couple of times over. You heard their WNBL champion already in her younger days. She won a WNBA title alongside Maya Moore with the Minnesota Lynx, and someone who you had a little bit to do with, Laurie Chiswick, in your basketball journey.
Oh, look, I've got so much time for Rachel, and she talked about being an inspiration for this next generation coming up, and to me, she's inspirational. All those championships and the dual Olympian. And the thing that I like about Rachel is that she's, whatever team she's playing with, she knows her role. She goes out and plays really hard. She's had her problems with some knee issues and concussion, but you know what you're going to get from Rachel, and she is a great leader and a great teammate. And the other thing, I mean, I was surprised to see that she'd become a police officer, and how fantastic was that? Rachel's got a huge basketball IQ. She understands the game. She reads it really well. And I always think that she will make a good coach someday, but I don't know with this new career that she's got, whether she'll have time. I spoke to her, and she actually said straight away out of the hub, she's going to be having to go straight back to work. So congratulations to Rachel for becoming a police officer. Just fantastic.
And great to have her back in the league, and you can almost read the headlines, can't you? A big game late in the playoffs. Southside Flyers with so much talent, and Rachel Jarry comes off the bench and bangs down a couple of big threes to change the script in the season. So looking forward to seeing what role she has to play, Rachel Jarry, with the Southside Flyers, the title favourites. We've got second half action coming up here momentarily. It's a 6-point game at the half. The Flames with a late run in that second term. It's Adelaide who lead it at the half. And that is beautiful Cairns. What a location. Just a beautiful part of the world. One of 3 cities, along with Mackay and Townsville, home to the 41st edition of the WNBL. And that is where the game today is being played. The Sydney Uni Flames. There they are under coach Katrina Hibbert. They're 6 points down at half-time. I'll be relatively happy with that, despite the fact not a lot has clicked for them offensively so far, shooting the ball at just 29% from the field. Yet the Adelaide Lightning lead by just 2 possessions, 32-26. Half-time score, third term about to begin. Corbin Middlemass, Laurie Chiswick and Megan Huswaite is with us courtside. Megan.
Just spoke to Katrina Hibbert out of halftime, the Sydney coach. The message was simple: put the ball in the hole. That will certainly help the Flames' chances in the second half. They felt they got a mismatch with Nat Burton late in that second quarter, but they've definitely got a oh my goodness, shut down Steph Talbot in the second half. She has been a big threat for them so far.
Thanks, Megan. Alongside the Sydney Uni Flames bench, what are your observations of the Flames, Laurie?
Well, I think Katrina Hibbert's right. They've taken some good shots. They've had some good looks. They just haven't dropped. And so, you know, you just want to, as long as their shot selection's good, as long as they're taking things out of their offense so they can then get in after the rebounds, hopefully they'll drop for them.
Simple game, isn't it? Just
simple game.
Put the ball in the hole. It's you look at these shooting percentages, you feel like telling people, go and grab the ball, head down to your local court. You'd be surprised how many times you put the ball up. You'd be shooting at less than 29%. But
they do need to get to the foul line more.
Yep,
absolutely.
So no free throws in that first half for Sydney. The third quarter, I feel like I'm the bearer of bad news for Sydney Uni Flames fans at the moment. They've won only 1 third quarter this year out of the 6 they've played. So they've been a little slow out of half-time. They got to shut down Steph Talbot. Burton guards her, shoots the pass to the corner. Werung for 3, off the rim, and Maley, of course, on the rebound. Second half action underway. Corbin Middlemass, Laurie Chiswick, Megan Huswaite. WNBL action. Burton with 6 points in that second quarter. Kicks it to Mansfield, back to Burton, baseline jumper. Nope. Rebound for Brooke. Werung at the other end, off the dribble. Pulls up herself, across the top of the rim. The Flames back the other way. Sydney Flames in the orange. Adelaide in the navy with the pink. Maley down to Scherf, shot up, doesn't go.
Gosh, they're just, both teams just seem just that little bit out of rhythm right now.
Talbot, the class player on the floor so far through that first half. Off the dribble. Makes her way.
That was really smart with, sorry, Corbin, that with Steph Talbot. She forced the switch on that on-ball screen, as you can see here. Scherf now has guarding her, and she doesn't have the foot speed to contain her. So Steph just hesitated a bit, then took it hard at her and drew the foul.
Thank you very much. Scherf called for the reach, so that's her first personal. Takes a seat in the process. Steph Talbot, she's played all bar about, I think, 1.5 minutes in the game. She's up to 19.5 minutes already. 15 and 7, her numbers in that first half.
Well, I think that shows the importance of this game and the need for both teams to win it. It's funny when we say that it's, you know, we've been playing for 2.5 weeks and we're halfway through the season, but this is a must-win for either of these teams.
The shot clock's back, which is great news, as you can see on the top right of your screen. Of course, it's on our ticker on the bottom of the screen as well for your access at home. Mansfield driving, draws the contact.
Mansfield did a good job of just at the last throwing the ball up so that she gets herself to the line. She didn't really have her eyes on the target at all, but because she got it up in the air, we see her now at the foul line shooting 2.
And as we've been touching on, Laurie, these are the first foul shots for the Sydney Flames.
You know, generally you want to, if you're you know, if you're shooting the foul shots at 75%, which is what we aim for, you know, if you want to go to the line maybe 15, 20 times and get that amount of, you know, if you go to the line 20 times, that's 15 points in the game.
She's a 90% foul shooter this year. Mansfield at the other end, spin move to the bucket. That's all class. Steph Talbot lays it home. She's had the answer all afternoon so far. Keeps it at 6 points. Here's Burton on the back of it. Big scoring second term. Tough shot up, doesn't go. Maley out hustles Talbot for the rebound. Nice jumper inside the keyway. That's good.
That's what Adelaide does. It's just out hustle. She doesn't stop. Even if she's blocked out initially, she keeps going. Nice to see her get that basket and rewarded for that rebound.
Talbot with the outlet pass, puts the shot up, bounces off the back of the rim, ends up over the baseline. Maley draws the foul. Over the back call, competing for the rebound. Come on, Llewellyn Tomlinson. A lot of fouls. That's her first personal. We've touched on the fact there's very little foul shots. Oh. Loose handle in the middle of the floor. Mansfield mops it up. Swagmeyer Belger. Trying to get to the hole. Scoop layup, doesn't go. Long rebound recovered by the Flames.
No, we have a ring touch, 14 seconds. There is a ring touch. Shot clock, 14 seconds, please. I have a ring touch.
I'm not sure what's happened. I'm not sure the shot got reset. I could have sworn the shot from Swagmeyer Belger came off the rim.
I think they're saying that it's a reset for 14 seconds.
Incorrect. The shot clock did not reset when it should have 14
go.
seconds. Your ball, baseline orange.
So you may have picked up that from the refs. That the shot clock did not reset after that shot there from Swagmeyer Belger. So time expired on the Flames incorrectly.
Oh, a review. This is the first review that I've had in these 3 games that we've done. I'm not sure it did hit it when I saw that replay.
So they're allowed to check that here.
Roll forward, please.
Let's have a look. Did the shot from Swagmeyer Belger hit the rim?
Yep. So I've got, so game stopped 6. And where have you got my whistle? I've just go back for me. I need to get that again. I haven't got it. 6:54 is the first information, but I need to see when the whistle goes so that I can ascertain game time.
It's good we have this technology.
Roll forward. Roll forward, roll forward. 6:53. Game time 6:53. So shot clock 14 seconds, game time 6:53, please. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go.
Just a matter of time. They're going with the call that the shot hit the rim from Swagmeyer Belger. Sydney ball. 14 on the red numbers, as you heard. Mansfield up top to Bogue, shoots a lightning pass down to Burton, and Burton off the window for 2, so she's up to 10 points, Nat Burton. 6 of them coming in that second term.
She's certainly taken over as the influence over the game right now, and her teammates are looking for her because it's been successful, that high-low action. Natty Burton is using her body really well and presenting with her hand where exactly she wants the pass to come.
6-2 start out of half-time. Flames way within 2 points. Adelaide ball. Wera. Off the dribble. Shot up off the window. Can't get it to go, and Burton pulls it down. Doing it at both ends at the moment, Nat Burton. Burton to Maley. Maley thought about the look from the perimeter. Up top, Carly Bogue shoots the three, misfires. Talbot wrestles it free. Star opal, Steph Talbot, Olympian from Rio. Away to Brooke.
Go to work.
Down to Tomlinson, and the foul's going to be called on Swagmire Belger.
Big players inside, when they get the ball and there's a mismatch on them, their eyes should just light up. Like, go to work, back them down, make your move, go up strongly.
Tomlinson's going to sit now as well, yet to have a point in the game. Adelaide by 2. Wareham catches in the corner, up top to Wilson. She's yet to get going offensively, only 3 points. Out it comes, shot goes up from Brooke, can't connect, and another rebound. Swagmire Belger had 7 boards in the first half. That's another to her tally here. The Flames capitalise on this momentum. Mansfield away to Burton. Burton puts the shot up and it's good. Gets the shooter's roll. Nat Burton having a moment here either side of half-time. Great pass, Wareham down to Brooke, answers back off the window.
Bit of miscommunication there on defense from Sydney, and good finish by Brooke. Consistently, especially since she's missed those couple of outside shots, I'm glad to see her getting herself inside. Nat Burton, though, she's having a day out in this quarter. Fantastic to see.
Oldest member of the Sydney Uni Flames outfit, the 31-year-old, back in the league after a couple of years in Europe, of course. Former Olympian, averaging only 5 a game for the season so far. She's up to 12 here, midway through the third. As Bogue trying to make her way to the basket, Carly Bogue, and she'll head to the line, draws the foul. Be caught on Marina Whittle.
So I feel like right now Adelaide are being really reactive defensively instead of proactively. We could just see there, Ali Wilson had her hands down on the closeout. You need to be putting pressure on it so that Sydney can't get any rhythm, can't just run their stuff. You've got to be disruptive, be proactive, not right now the way they are being reactive.
They make both their foul shots here through Carly Bogue. Championship winner as a development player with Sydney back in their 16-17 season, their last championship year. Wilson on the perimeter. We know she's a threat from there. Out to Wareham, down to Whittle, trying to back her way in. Shot goes up, no good. Talbot on the O board, puts the shot back up, no good. Brooke with another offensive rebound. Wilson thought about the look. Up top to Talbot, out to Wareham, shoots the three, and that's good. Abigail Wareham with the triple. They lead by that margin, Adelaide.
They just made that extra pass, Talbot to Wareham, that really sealed the deal there.
Sydney lose the handle. Chance for Adelaide in transition. Talbot takes it all the way to the hoop and lays it in. That's a top-notch player in her prime, Steph Talbot.
I love the fact that she didn't stop. She didn't kick it out to somebody on the perimeter. She just went strongly. Look at her go. Her eyes are up, splitting the defense there. Really strong move by Steph Talbot.
Up to 19 points for the game, 9 rebounds. She looks every bit the best player on the floor, Steph Talbot. Adelaide by 5 points, 4 to go before three-quarter time.
So Sydney really just now need to, with this timeout and 4 minutes to go, they need to talk about locking down defensively and really stopping their players. Let's listen to Katrina Hibbert.
Guards, so guards can format. All right, we can flow into our 2s and 3s. 2s are great. Carly's in the pinch post. All right, play off her through the pinch. We've got Nat out back out there. All right, look at the early post on the 2. She might have a one-on-one. Stick to the process, girls. Stick to the process. We've got this. We are.
Stick to the process. Philadelphia 76ers. Trust the process.
Well, it's true. You know, We have those processes in place. Come on, players.
Oh, what a strip. Alex Wilson takes it straight out of the handle of Lauren Mansfield. The feed to Whittle and the layup's good. All off the back of the work defensively from Alex Wilson. Now it's back to 7 points. Mansfield up top to Nakasoglu. Down to Bogue, some indecision. Back to Funda, Nakasoglu driving, shot up, it's blocked. Great work defensively, a hand on that on the way through. The dribble penetration. Werung in one direction, Whittle in the other. Over the baseline it goes. It's Whittle on the block.
She got some air time there. It's got to be a catch and shoot, really. 2.4 seconds.
Oh, Burton not awake to it. And they hand it straight back to Sydney Uni Flames, staring down a 7-point deficit. In a game where 7 points the margin, Steph Talbot, just a reminder, has 19 points and 9 rebounds. 3 to go before three-quarter time. Here's Alex Wilson. To Whittle, catch and shoot. A little long, Bailey on the rebound. He's Swagmire Belger. Funda calling for the pick. Doesn't get it. Carly Bogue on the handoff. Swagmire Belger, the bounce pass through to Burton, off her knees. Out to Nakasoglu, shot up, no good. And Whittle takes care of Maley with one hand, grabs the rebound in the other.
Bodies flying everywhere.
Wilson, can she catch fire? A little long on the shot. Whittle competing for the rebound, and out it goes. It's going to be a foul call. It's on the Sydney Uni Flames. That's the last thing they need, is if Alex Wilson starts to feel it offensively. Funda Nakasoglu called for the foul. Just more minutes on the floor than any other player so far this season, Wilson. 36 minutes a game in a condensed season.
Yeah, you sort of wonder whether that accumulated fatigue will play a part in, you know, that last push home, the run home for the teams.
I guess the other thing with Adelaide is that the numbers are skewed a little bit given the fact they had the week off, as Talbot drives all the way to the cup, lays it in. She's under 21, Steph Talbot. And it's a 9-point game. Rowe to Scherf. Wanted to give it to Nakasoglu. She slips over. Swagmire Belger jacks the three. No good.
See, that's not the answer for Sydney. They don't need to just be putting up long bombs. They're not hitting it right now.
Oh, Wilson, great pass. Dishes it to Badish and we're back to double digits. Adelaide by 11 points. Latter stages of the third term. Ella Badish with the basket.
That seemed to just happen. It was 36 all not too long ago, and Adelaide have just piled on the points since then.
Yeah. Great job, thank you. Hey, got it? Three.
It's a three ball that started it from Marina Whittle. As you said, an 11-0 run at the moment. Adelaide's way to try and break that. Rowe bounces off the iron. There's Whittle up the floor. Talbot, another basket on the end of it this time. Steph Talbot, the 23. Adelaide extend that game high margin out to 13. Rowe dumps it down. Scherf out to Maley. Catch and shoot. Yes. One back for Sydney.
That's a great shot for Annalie Maley, and a steal. There's been a couple of instances by both teams of mistakes with that inbound pass.
Wilson, great dish again to Talbot, cutting through the key.
As I was saying, it's nice to see Annalie Maley hit a three-point shot. She's known for her rebound. We talk about it all the time. But she was wide open. It had been put inside, kick back out. She needed to take it and finish.
On the inbound, Whittle up top, back to Wilson. Final 40 seconds of the third. Badish from the corner. That's a dagger.
That hurts. That really hurts.
At the other end, Swagmite Belger. Tough finish. Can't get it to go. Talbot just tries to change the tempo. 10-point game. Adelaide with a big run here in the back end of the third term. Wareham all the way to the hoop, lays it up, left-handed. 2 more. 12-point game.
Again, used her foot speed against Scherf, was just that little bit quicker and able to go all the way to the basket.
Nakasoglu appealing for the foul. Clock stops with a minute left. She had a fair claim as well.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
I think I said 1 minute left. 1 second left, of course, on the game clock. Approaching three-quarter time.
Oh, just get it in the air.
Oh, Rowe trying to get it into the corner for Swagmire Belger.
With 1.1 second on the clock, you really just need to get it up into the air. Hopefully Scherf can catch it with her long arms and just put it back in.
We'll have a second crack at it here from the baseline. Sydney. Adelaide have come up with 21 points in the quarter, particularly in the back end of the term. Catch for Swagmire Belger. She ran out of room. Wareham blocked the shot anyway. And Adelaide with a dominant third term. 17-5 to run to end the quarter. After scores were level midway through the third term, it's the Lightning by 12 points. The Adelaide Lightning, they've blown it out to a 12-point buffer at three-quarter time. Adelaide 53, Sydney Flames 41. Megan Huswaite with us courtside. She's been listening in to Coach Chris Lucas. Megan.
Well, it's not often that a coach tells his team that they're happy to concede a three-pointer to a player of the opposition, but that was the message regarding Annalee Maley. We'll give her that 3-ball, but no more rebounds. We can't let her into this game. She's already had 8 boards, and we know she's a rebounding machine in WNBL 20.
Coming off a 20-rebound game she played last start. Annalee Maley, ridiculous numbers, leads the competition in that tally. This woman leads the comp in a heap of tallies. Talbot dumps it down to Whittle. Turnaround Jay. Whittle foul. Should go to the line.
Again, I think Adelaide are doing a good job of trying to capitalize on maybe being a bit taller in that guard spot than Sydney. They just haven't finished really well with those easy shots, but they've gotten themselves to the line, so that's a good result as well.
She's pretty reliable from here. Marina Whittle, 70% on the season from the foul line. Decorated college career with North Dakota State. Of course, been in the WNBL for a minute now across 4 different teams. 14-point game. New game high on the back of those made foul shots. Flames have got to catch fire. Nakasoglu. Away to Swagmire Belger. He's had 8 rebounds for the game, but just 4 points. Trying to make a way to the basket, kicks it out to Mansfield, who shoots after the shot clock expired. Another missed opportunity offensively for the Flames, just 28% from the field.
That was really great defense by Talbot right at the end of the shot clock there, containing Schwagmeyer, sending her away from the middle, and really left her no option but to pass it in the shot clock violation.
Ware on spin move, layup, misses everything. Mansfield, 170 centimetres, pulls it down.
Yeah.
Giving away a fair bit of height, plenty of hustle. Nakasoglu bounce pass to Mansfield, thought about the look. Back up top, Nakasoglu puts it on the floor, off her shoe, over the sideline, the Flames hand it back.
Adelaide are doing a great job defensively of really packing it in, and on any penetration, there's somebody there hedging, sort of leaning towards that penetrator to make it look like they don't have a space, and then they kick it on. So they've certainly improved in that area.
Talbot up top. Hides the bump from Mansfield on the way through. Or bounce pass ended up with Badish somehow trying to get a shot up. 3 seconds in the key.
There's still lots of time in this game for Sydney to, you know, get a few outside looks, take it inside, get themselves to the foul line if they can, but they really need to come up with stops.
Mansfield dumps it down low. Burton off the window. Good for 2. She had a great afternoon, Nat Burton. She's up to 14 points.
Well, I just keep going to her. I try run plays to her because she right now is their only scoring option.
Try and stop that. Steph Talbot. Turnaround jumper inside the charge circle. Draws the contact. Headed to the line. Count them and 1.
So I did speak to Chris Lucas yesterday, and we did discuss the potential mismatches they'd have with the height in the guard department, and that was a classic example. Mansfield ended up on Talbot. I know somebody came over to help, but she's just so strong and so physical, Steph Talbot inside, and it was a really nice finish.
Up to 26 for the game. 11 boards to go along with that for Steph Talbot. Swagmire Belger. Jumps it down to Maley, shot up, can't get it to go. Talbot and Maley lock up, competing for the rebound. Bodies hit the floor again. I mentioned Alex Wilson coming out of the break, so she's averaging 16 points for the year. We talked about the amount of time she spent on the floor. We know she's such a threat from the perimeter, but been able to get it done in other ways tonight. So 6 rebounds, 8 assists for Alex Wilson.
Well, that's a great thing about when you've got team basketball. If everybody's happy to play a role and somebody else is starring that night, so Alex is quite happy to be the, assists, get her teammates open, get the good passes to them.
Here she is. Just conducting the orchestra at the moment. There's the lead player, Steph Talbot, cutting to the bucket. 2 more,
Another
under
assist,
28.
Another assist for Alex Wilson as well.
The ultimate crime partner, the combination of Wilson and Talbot. How deep will we be talking about them this season? It's out to 17 points. Here's Wareham, catch and shoot, yes. More points. Wareham with the straight on 3. And understandably, Katrina Hibbert wants a halt in play. Timeout called by the Sydney Uni Flames. Adelaide have it out to 20 points.
Well, confidence breeds confidence, and right now Adelaide are filled with confidence. The things they're doing, the sets they're running, the shots they're taking, and defense as well.
(63-43), 20 points, a new game high. They've looked as good as they have. Laurie Chiswick offensively in the first 3 minutes of this final quarter, so they've already scored 10 points for the term. 10-2 run out of the break at three-quarter time. This is the afternoon of Nat Burton, so 14 points. All her scoring has really happened after quarter time.
Well, the thing I like about Nat Burton is that she's using her body early, so she's setting herself up early. Then once she gets the ball, she's able to finish quite comfortably. So it's about doing hard work before you even get the ball. You may not get it, but if you do, you're absolutely ready. And then her teammates are doing a great job of finding her. You know, I would just keep going to her right now. She's got confidence, she's finishing, she's, you know, like I said, using her body well, so keep going to her. Unless she's subbed off and sitting on the bench.
Well-earned break for Nat Burton, 14 points at 54% from the field, a couple of rebounds.
Chris Lucas would be super happy with his defense. You know, they're sitting at 43 points right now, and so far this season, they averaged 79 points against them. So if they can keep this team below 60, he'll be wrapped with that.
Pretty loose defensively against Melbourne the other night. As you said, they've done a much better job so far. Work to do for Katrina Hibbert as Whittle, baseline jump shot, misses. Megan Huswaite, you kept an ear out on that last time out.
Yeah, plenty of work to do for Sydney. The message was to sharpen up, to get running, to get steals and really attack and move the ball when they do get hold of it.
Chris and Carly Bogue both on the floor for Sydney. This is Mansfield off the dribble, step back, triple. Didn't get the shooter's roll. Wilson, loose handle up the floor. Settling on the perimeter, Alabadish, second triple. Plenty of time to think about it, knocks it down. Foul caught on the offense. There's the Badish three.
It's always great when your players come off the bench and have a positive impact on the game. And that's what I thought was the case when Adelaide played Bendigo a couple of days ago, that the bench players had a big impact. And again today, there's some really solid play from Ella Batish, Luella Tomlinson.
Here's Whittle, deep two, jump shot misses. Rowe the rebound. This is Kalia, the development player. Bounce pass through the lane, and in the passing lane, Steph Talbot comes up with it downhill. More points for Talbot. A 30-point game.
Oh, we still have 5.5 minutes to go.
Oh. 30 and 12, the numbers for Steph Talbot. Gaudy numbers again from the 26-year-old. Chris Bogue loses the handle through some heavy contact to the keyway.
So this is where, at some stage, Katrina Hibbert has to make a decision. Sydney have a game again tomorrow against Townsville. So you look at the clock right now, you're down by, what, 25 points. You go, do we pull the pin now and you know, rest some players? Do we still give it another shot till the 3-minute mark? But at some stage, you start thinking about that game the next day.
Rowe catches from the inbounds in the corner for Sydney. Carly Bogue away to Cherie Kalia. Saw a little bit of her earlier in the tournament. She came on and had an impact straight away. Shoots a three. Long rebound. Scooped up by her hair. Puts it back on the floor. Out to Chris Bogue. Jump shot up. Misses. Wilson scoops it up for Adelaide. Of course, the Lightning have a second game tomorrow as well, the second leg of the back-to-back.
Well, that's right, and so you can see right now both teams have gone to their bench.
Sydney.
I think Ali Wilson's the only starter from both teams that's on the court right now.
I mentioned earlier, she's averaging 36 minutes for the season. Maybe she has some sort of agreement with Chris Lucas where she says, look, don't take me out. I'm happy to play 4 minutes every game. So warrior, and she's staying out there, Alex Wilson. 5 on the floor for the Lightning. Basham, Wilson, Smith, Brooke and Jaeger. While for Sydney, it's Kalia, Rowe, Greaves, O'Hare and Carly Bogue. There's Alex Wilson. Usually features in that category, the three-pointers made. She has just 3 points for the game. She's done her work through assists and rebounds. 10 assists, 9 rebounds.
See, that's where I'm wondering whether Taylor Ortlip would come in that point guard position and run the show for them. And they're just not risking her for whatever reason. We don't really know a lot about that. I don't know, Megan, if you could find anything out about Taylor Ortlip, but you would think she would be on the court right now.
Smith with the layup. The end of the bounce pass. Extends the lead to 27. Carly Bogue, the tough finish. It's a little scrappy, and in the end, Adelaide up into the front court. Through Smith, Wilson, Basham up top for Brooke for 3 more. Front of the rim, disappears over the sideline.
Oh, sorry, Chelsea Brooks still on the court as a starter. My mistake.
Mention the game tomorrow for these two teams. There's a triple header today. One match already completed. Southside Flyers 94 over Townsville 70. Shyla Heel with 17 points again for the Fire. We'll see her in our national televised game tomorrow because Townsville play Sydney and Adelaide play the Flyers. So these two games in Cairns, they cross over. O'Hare tries to put up a tough shot underneath the bucket unsuccessfully. And Brooke Basham to work it up the floor. Third game she's got minutes so far this year. Here's Jaeger. Shot up, off the window, doesn't go. Carly Bogue, the defensive board.
That's one thing about this unique season this year and playing so many games in such a condensed time is that the bench does get the opportunity and you know, you can go right down to your 12th player. Their teams are allowed to dress all 12 players, and so sometimes if you're up by a lot or down by a lot, coaches, you know, use their whole bench, and it's just valuable experience for these young players.
There's a game still to come in Townsville tonight as well. Saturday night basketball in round 3 of the WNBL. Bendigo play the Capitals. Here's Cherie Kalia. Second shot's good. Extra pass down to the corner through the hands of Amy Brett. She'll get it again here, Brett. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. It's a whistle on the play, and the defender O'Hare going to be called for the foul.
I listened in on a little bit of a member Zoom meeting with some Sydney players the other day, and one of the things the players talked about was that as a team, they've got a 12-hour rule, and that means that it's after 12 hours, whether they won or lost, they move on with it. So it's to try and level things out so your highs aren't too high and your lows aren't too low. So 12 hours, we're on to that next game, and I thought that was an interesting way to approach it, and they'll certainly have to do that in this instance here. 12 hours, think about, you know, what went wrong here, and then get on to the next game.
They did implement that, I think, in my own life as well, Laurie. It seems like a good rule just to follow, rather than just doing on things for a long period of time. 12 hours. Perfect time.
Well, it would be nice if we could all do that, but when games are a week apart, oh my goodness, it's hard to do sometimes.
There is a nationally televised game coming up tomorrow as well, so you can catch that between the Sydney Uni Flames and the Townsville Fire. We'll be back here in Cairns as round 3 of the WNBL rolls on.
We see Kira Rowe here at the foul line. I'd be curious to know how many times they've gone to the line this game. It's not been many.
For our audience throughout ABC TV, the news waits for no one, so you'll be getting your nightly bulletin coming up. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage from Cairns. And for everyone throughout Fox Sports and KO, stay with us right through to the end, the final buzzer. Adelaide and Sydney, and if you're on KO Sports, there's another game still to come tonight, as I mentioned, Bendigo and the UC Caps triple header, the WNBL. Basham, Waiter puts up the shot, swatted down. Adelaide will get another look at it. Brett to Basham.
Nice.
Great pass.
Hey.
Smith finishes off with the layup.
I'm glad she finished that because that was a really good play, splitting the defense. Nice little pass in the air, soft hands by Carly Smith, and a nice finish.
The second time we've seen Amy Brett on court so far this year. Long three-ball attempt. Misses from O'Hare. Chris Bogue mops it up. Nice jump shot. Last few minutes here of an eventful afternoon in Cairns. We had the early game, the Flyers winning over the top of the Fire.
Good help defense there.
Rowe denied, Basham the bounce pass. Brett can't finish. Still alive. Jaeger has a look, doesn't take it. Down to the corner. Here's Brooke for three more. Skips across the top of the rim and another O-ball.
This is a really good win by the Adelaide Lightning. Again, we talk about beating those teams that you're competing with for that, top four position. And they have a bonus in that they beat the Canberra Capitals in that first game in overtime. And that's a game that probably they didn't have penciled in as a win. So they'll be pretty happy. Chris Lucas, now they've got some really tough games coming up.
Hot minute left here in the game. Shot up. A foul call. Foul shots coming up for Adelaide. It's Brooke Basham, nice pass. Over the shoulder, straight into the path of Amy Brett. So the road ahead, Adelaide Lightning, second leg of a back-to-back tomorrow against the Southside Flyers. They'll start a heavy underdog in that game. They then get a bit of a rest. They play the Flyers again. That's on Wednesday. And that's their first stint in Cairns over, back to Townsville. We'll have a couple of games in Townsville against Canberra and Perth, and then they're back in Cairns for a three-game stretch at the back end of the year.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see perhaps some players rested in those games, considering the opposition plus the travel that's involved with those teams and between Townsville and Cairns.
You know what it's like being involved in professional sport on the road, Laurie. There are certain elements that players and support staff just enjoy a little more than others, and even though they stay in some great places, there's some hotels that are marginally better than the others. And I'm being told by the competition that the girls like the accommodation in Cairns a bit more than Townsville, so I think they're quite happy to be in Cairns for the teams that are up there. Oh, nice work. Jaeger comes up with the strip, chucks it out in front of the path of Basham. O'Hare gets back to take it for the Sydney Uni Flames. So to be a wide margin in the finish, Rowe nails a triple right on the horn. And the marginal end at 22. Nice win for the Adelaide Lightning. Their season certainly alive and kicking. They get themselves to 4-1 on the season. A date with the Southside Flyers tomorrow to really find out where they're at. But on the back of a dominant display from Steph Talbot, a 30-point game, 12 rebounds. The Adelaide Lightning have crushed the Flames. A 22-point margin in the finish.
And I've no doubt that Katrina Hibbert will definitely evoke that 12-hour rule. They'll go away from today's games because Townsville for them is against another one of those teams that they're vying for those spots. So they'll have to put this game aside, learn from it. You know, they were really stagnant in some offensive things in that second quarter especially, scoring 53 points for the whole game. They'll be a bit disappointed in that, but I have no doubt that they'll bounce back, and Townsville are coming off a loss too, so it'll be an interesting game.
Great game.
Second leg of the back-to-back for all the teams involved tomorrow. How about that as a matchup? The two teams coming off the win play each other, and the two teams coming off the loss play each other. It's just a beautiful symmetry in the way that these things work. Let's kick it down to Megan Huswaite, who's got a woman who is just taking the competition by storm. 30 points, 12 rebounds. Steph Talbot with another fine outing.
That was another fine outing from Steph Talbot, a very happy Adelaide captain. You've overcome adversity already this season, and you had to do it today with the shot clock going down and Sydney putting up a great fight in the first half. What kind of win was that from Adelaide?
Yeah, that was a really good performance from us. A couple of our last games have been not the style of basketball we want to play, but I think we came out today with a few challenges. And we really overcame them, yeah.
What about your form, Steph? Career best. How are you enjoying WNBL 20 and leading this side?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this group of girls. They're really fun to play with. Not doing anything special. They're just really good at getting me the ball where I'm good at using it, so it's really good.
You enjoying playing with Ali Wilson?
Yeah, I grew up playing with Ali Wilson, and we always had a good bond on the court, and we've come back together, and it's just been like we never left, yeah.
And no rest for the wicked. You're back tomorrow taking on the Southside Flyers. That's going to be a great measuring stick.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game. We'll see how we go, get back, do some recovery, and back at midday tomorrow.
We look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, Steph. Well done.
Thank you very much.
And 11 on the season. Doing those numbers no harm here with another big performance. 30 and 12 the numbers for Steph Talbot. The Lightning get home by 22 points.
Well, there's just so much to like about Talbot's game, and we've mentioned it throughout the broadcast. She just has so many weapons in her armory. We saw her early on, just 2 threes in a row. She does her offensive transition. She runs the floor so well. We see her on dribble penetration, splitting the defense. And that combination of her and Ali, as we see in this little pass right now, Alex Wilson, that's fun to watch, and they would take great confidence out of this game in tomorrow's game.
Back to wrap it all up next. Steph Talbot starring Adelaide Lightning winning a 22-point victory over the Sydney Uni Flames.